So guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another Red Manx TV video. I'm sorry this reaction video to yesterday's game is coming out a day late. I was having quality issues. I filmed the video, it was ready to go out, but it was quite blurry and fuzzy and I did not want to put it out. I've noticed the last couple of videos have been a bit blurry and fuzzy from how they normally are, so I didn't want to put it out. I tried to fix that, so hopefully it's fixed for today's video, guys, and we'll be talking about the game. And of course, yesterday's game, guys, what do you even say about that performance? Simply embarrassing for Manchester United, and for the second time in one season, another spineless performance against City. And I know I said in the preview, I didn't give Manchester United a single chance of getting anything from this game. I said the best we were either going to get is a draw or a lucky and smash and grab 1-0. Other than that, I thought we were going to get battered, and that's exactly what happened yesterday, like it happened earlier on in the season. They put us to the sword twice in one season, and it's really hard to take in, to be fair, to play like that against City and to see the golfing class between the two teams. It is quite scary how far away we are from them, and I knew we were going to lose a game, but I wanted to show the team to show a bit of fight and a bit of passion, and the way it played out in the second half, I just couldn't accept that performance, in my opinion, after such a good first half. If we continued like we did in the first half and the second half, I don't think it would have been as bad. But we came out like we just gave up and thrown the towel in at half time and accepted defeat, and that wasn't acceptable for me. And yes, you can blame the players today, because I thought a lot of those players, for me, and I think a lot of those players shouldn't be playing for Manchester United and shouldn't be on that pitch playing yesterday. I think a few of you guys, or most of you, probably know who I'm on about, and the players I'm really sectioning out here. And of course, you can blame the manager as well, because I thought some of his tactics he used yesterday to keep the system the same for how it was for 90 minutes, I think he allowed it to get worse and showed a bit of naivety on his side, in my opinion. So you can blame the players as well. I think the manager, you have to question him a bit as well, because, playing McTominay and Fred in that same system when it wasn't working for 90 minutes, you just asked to get punished, and that's exactly what happened. But I thought all the goals on the day were avoidable, and I'm not really mad at the game because we were expected to lose. If we got battered 4-1, by Watford again, or someone like Burnley, I would be more angry. I'd be furious, to be fair, if that happened. But the fact it was City, I just hope that the players out there would have shown a bit more fight on the day, because in the second half, a load of those players just gave up, and I don't think I can accept that. So that's the only issue I have. I'm not angry with the performance, because I thought the first half was quite good. I thought, we gave ourselves every single chance to go out in that second half and get something from the game. But it just seemed like a lot of those players just weren't fighting for top four, and that's not right, because, come the end of the season, we could be in massive trouble in a couple of years' time. We really could, with, of course, Pogba leaving, Ronaldo leaving at the end of the season, more than likely. Rashford, his contract, his runs out in 2023, and he's not sure if he wants to sign. Bruno Fernandes is up in the air as well. So Manchester United, I really feel, could be in massive trouble in years to come. And I don't think anything will change in the next couple of years or so. A new manager obviously is going to come in at the end of the season, but we have to make it the right one this time. We can't be differing about and putting in managers or getting in managers that are not going to be the right fit, because we've shown that before. David Moyes, Jose Mourinho, now Ole Gunnar Solskjaer bringing him in, and Rangnick, he hasn't done the best of jobs, but we've seen an improvement. Of course, we've not done too bad in the league. We're still in the Champions League at the moment, and he said to the end of the season. So we have to give him every single chance, and no one gave us a chance of winning the game yesterday. So that's why I'm not really that angry, but I expected it to be a bit closer than it was, and I think we only have ourselves to blame, and of course Rangnick has himself to blame for why it was 4-1 in the end, because it was just quite easy for them in the second half. I just think a lot of those players on that pitch, they don't have the brains to compete with City, in my opinion. The Freds and the McTominays and Maguires, the Wan-Bissakas on that pitch, who were probably four of the worst players on that pitch yesterday. And of course, they don't really have the brains to compete with City. I think only a few of them had the technicality and the quality to be up there with that type of level that City are at the moment. I think a few of them, I'm not going to name them because you probably know who they are, but I think there's only a few on that team who should be on there. And that's a difference, really. The golfing class is day and night. It really is day and night. And as I said, it's so scary how far we're off City and how far we're off Chelsea and how far we're off Liverpool, because it's not going to take a year. It's not going to take a year to get back to competing with them. Then the next manager's not going to come in and all of a sudden we're competing with them. Of course we want that to happen. We need that to happen. We need the manager to come in and get us competing with those type of teams, because that's what was supposed to happen this season. All that expectation on the team. Bringing Ronaldo in, bringing Varane in, bringing Jadon Sancho in. There's a lot of expectation, and the fact we've fallen again this season, it's just not acceptable in my opinion. So we've got to make sure the next manager's the right fit. But yeah, City were just too good yesterday. They were too good for us. It showed. They have 11 superstars on that pitch. We have 11 average players, and I think that's fair saying that, to be fair. I think, Gary Neville and Mika Richards, they were doing a lad Bible thing on thing competing against statements and seeing what they think, they strongly agree or strongly disagree. And you know, Gary Neville said not a single United player gets in that City team, and that just proves to you how far we're away from them, because not even Pogba would get in that team at the moment, not even Bruno Fernandes would get in that team. I think the only player probably I would say, because they need a striker, is arguably Ronaldo. He would take at City. That's the only player I think would get in that team. Other than that, there's a wide difference in the quality of players, and it shouldn't be like that, but that's how it is, guys. But as I said, I'm not going to get angry at the game because I expected it, but I thought the performance in the second half from some of the players, it was shameful, it was spineless, it was toothless from the players in the second half, and that's what I can't accept. I thought the first half, as I said, was good. I was happy with the first half. We went toe-to-toe with them, we competed with City, but that second half, it just made me question a lot of those players even more, because when Rashford and Lingard came on, they were even just walking around the pitch, and they're fresh. I don't care if, you don't think you should have started the game. Get on that pitch and show, you should be starting the game, because we saw Rashford has come out today questioning his future, looking for a move away. But it's fair, Rashford has to admit in himself that he's not been good enough. That's why he's not in the squad. We all know that. We've all seen that the last couple of months or so. Rashford is far from good enough to be in his team at the moment, and that's why he's on the bench. So he has to be, strong enough to admit that, like some of the other players have when they've not been playing good enough. So, yeah, it's frustrating because, top four is hanging in the balance now. I think it's still quite far away. I think, Arsenal still have a lot of the top teams to play at the moment. We still have to play Arsenal as well. I think the game against Spurs next week is going to be crucial now. It really is. And we need to make sure we win that game. It's a home game as well, I think. So that's going to be a massive game for Manchester United. But top four at the moment, the players on that pitch just don't seem to want it. And that's another issue I have, because, you're going to be playing the Europa League football if you don't get top four next season. You're going to lose Ronaldo and Pogba. You're going to potentially lose Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford potentially, if you don't get top four. So it's a reoccurring problem with this club that we just don't tend to improve as a football team. Even though we get in these quality players, we don't seem to have the capability to improve. It doesn't matter what manager it's under. It doesn't matter if Pep came in. I don't think Pep could get these players playing to the level that they could, because I just don't think some of them are good enough. And that's the issue at the moment, and nothing's going to change until a lot of these players are shipped out. But then again, how do you ship out the likes of Harry Maguire, 80 million? Look at the mistakes he was making today. Again, so questionable. Fred and McTominay, how are you going to get rid of those guys? They're two of the worst midfielders in the league at the moment. I know you, McTominay and Fred, you got to have these type of players give it their all, give it their all every single week. But the fact is, you can give it your all, but you still cannot be good enough, and that's exactly what them two are in the midfield. I like them both, I really do. I think they can definitely do a good job in the league mid-table with Newcastle or someone like that. But, at Manchester United, we need superstars, and we haven't got a single superstar in the team at the moment. Even though we do have Ronaldo, he's not performing to the level that he could be. But again, yesterday, who's going to blame Ronaldo? I thought Ronaldo was a problem. He wasn't in the squad yesterday. I mean, look, probably I would say the majority of people probably say that game looked even worse than missing Ronaldo in that team. So, yeah, who's going to moan at Ronaldo today? Whose fault was it today? Because you can't put Ronaldo on there today. I didn't see the pundits coming out saying Ronaldo was the issue today, because Ronaldo, in my opinion, should be starting this game, whether he had an injury or whether he just, was frustrated that he didn't get put in the team, so he wasn't in the squad. Who knows what happened? We're never going to know that situation, but we can just guess at it, can't we? So, I mean, there was just some questionable decisions, and yes, we were missing a few players in Varane, Ronaldo, Luke Shaw were all out, but that doesn't excuse the second half performance that we saw, and the spineless performance once again against City. But yeah, guys, let's get into the team going into the game. It was David De Gea, Alex Telles left back, Maguire, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, Fred and McTominay, and then it was Alanga, Jadon Sancho, and Bruno Fernandes and Pogba. It looked like it was a 4-2-3-1 at first. That's what I saw the lineup with. But in the pitch, it more looked like a 4-2-2-2, and it looked like Pogba and Bruno were playing the striker roles. It really was. So that was quite confusing me, because Bruno was playing that. I think he was playing that false nine role, I'm not too sure, but Pogba was playing a more attacking role as well. He was just all over the pitch, in my opinion. I don't know where Pogba was playing. And then Jadon Sancho was on the right, at times was on the left. Alanga was on the left, at times on the right. So it was just a mess up, to be fair. And, Ranić, if he changed the system, do we get something out of that game? I'm not too sure. I think we give ourselves a better chance to. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. We can go and get something from that game if we change the system, because I think we just allowed City to just control that game and play their game. And that's what they did for 90 minutes. So, I mean, it was an easy game for City. I thought we could have made it a bit harder, but then again, with our level at the moment, you had to be a bit silly to give us a chance of winning this game, didn't you? So, yeah, but the player ratings, guys, so David De Gea in net, I'm going to give David De Gea a 6. I didn't think he was that bad today. I thought he made some really good saves at times. Again, the defence let him down, majorly in my opinion. The defence was all over the place today, especially Harry Maguire. So I think the defence let him down big time. He made a few good saves, couldn't do anything about the goals. And one thing I just want to say about the goals is I think every single one of those goals they scored were avoidable. Because the Telles one, the De Bruyne one at first, Telles was sleeping, allowed De Bruyne to come in front of him. Second one, what is Maguire doing? If you saw the goal, he let it go through his legs as soon as De Gea saved it. Like, what are you doing? Clear that ball. That should be your first instinct, to clear that ball. You know, in the 6-yard box, just clear that ball. That's all you have to do, and you give away a corner, defend that corner. It's shocking. His defensive knowledge and his defensive awareness is shocking. It is shocking for a player that costs 80 million. So for me, I think the defence let him down some. And then the third goal, of course, from the corner. I'm sorry, who's marking Mahrez on the edge of the box? Surely that should be someone marking him, because that's what they did twice. I think I remember them doing that corner technique, putting out to the edge of the box. Once they blocked it from a free kick, it was from a free kick, and then they did it from the corner and they scored. Again, really poor from Manchester United. And the fourth goal, Telles, I can't really do much about it. I think his awareness is a bit poor in that goal, but again, that's probably the best goal of them all. And I'd actually give him praise for that goal because it was alright, it was worked quite well. But other than that, I thought all the goals were avoidable for me. So, Maguire, I'm going to give Maguire a 4. Really, really poor today. Again, probably one of his worst games in the United shirt. Made silly challenges at times. Was at fault for probably 2 of the goals as well. And again, for someone who's 80 million, it just shocks me how poor he is as a defender. And that's probably got to be one of the worst Manchester United captains I've ever seen. And that just shows, how far we have fallen. Like Maguire, the Maguire you're seeing on the pitch, 80 million is our captain at Manchester United. The Roy Keanes, the captains of before Manchester United, and then you're seeing that on the pitch. I think some of those other captains that used to be at Manchester United will be heavily ashamed with that. They will be. So I'm going to give Maguire a 4. Lindelöf, I'm going to give a 4 as well. I didn't think he was much better today. He got caught out way too many times. Was at fault for one of the goals, to be fair. He should have dealt with Foden a bit better. So I'm going to give him a 4. Left-hand side, Telles. Thought it was alright, so I'm going to give him a 5. Defensively, I think it was alright. Going forward, I thought his set pieces were poor. Rarely beating the first man from corners. So I thought his game overall was just quite poor today. So I'm just going to give him a 5. Right-hand side, Wan-Bissaka, I'm going to give him a 3. I thought he had one of his worst games in the United shirt today. He got bullied by Foden, and I'm sorry, how are you getting bullied by Phil Foden? Nothing against him, but the size of him, how are you getting bullied by Phil Foden on that pitch? I think he lost a lot of duels as well. Defensively, was just so poor today, Wan-Bissaka. So I'm just going to give him a 3 today, one of his worst games. Fred, I'm going to give him a 4. Thought it was alright at times, but again, the 2 in midfield, they just can't do anything in midfield. They can't ball recover. They're not that good on the ball. They can't find a decent pass. They're just really overall just poor midfielders, and it just shows. I said it before, the start of the season, not getting in the CDM is going to be our biggest downfall and the reason we don't get top 4. And how many times this season have we come out in a reaction video like this, where have I come out and said, McTominay and Fred have been 2 of the worst players on the pitch. They've let us down today. How many times have I said that? And it just shows, some people were like, oh, we've got Varane now, we've got Jadon Sancho, we've got Cristiano Ronaldo, they're all going to come in, we're getting top 4, we're going to be fighting for the season. I knew as soon as we didn't get a CDM, and I realised Fred and McTominay were going to be playing for Manchester United for a whole season, with how competitive the league is, I knew we were done for, because, with them 2 in the midfield, you're never going to have a good game with those 2, so it just shows how, we needed that CDM and we never got one in. There was some player, I'm not too sure who it was, he was available for 8 million, I think it was Zakaria. He's now gone to Juve and he's looking good there. 8 million, and you're not bringing him in, and you're sitting there with McTominay and Fred. No manager can tell me on that field there, on the touchline, you're watching McTominay and Fred and you're thinking those 2 are good. I'm sorry, it's just so questionable. It's so questionable, and it just shows we needed a CDM so much and we're not getting that. And, I'm not going to rant here. I'm not going to come out and be angry because I expected to lose the game, and it's a reoccurring problem. I'm not going to be angry every single time we lose a game like this because we know the problems, and until the problem gets fixed, we're not going to get any better, guys. So, you just got to be a bit realistic, haven't you? And just realise how far we are away from them. So, for me, Fred gets a 4. McTominay, I thought, gets a 4 as well. Both really poor. Elanga, I'm going to give a 5. I thought it was alright today. On the ball, when he got it, I thought, he looked encouraging. He looked like he wanted to go forward with the ball, take players on. And that's what you need in a game like this, to be fair. When you need to counter-attack, you need to just get on that ball and try and drive forward. And I thought Elanga was quite good today in doing that. Same with Jadon Sancho, to be fair. I thought those 2 were quite creative. So I'm going to give Elanga a 5. Jadon Sancho, I'm going to give a 6. I thought, took his goal really well. All those players on that field, he's probably my man in the match today, to be fair, just for that goal, because that's the only positive we got from the game, to be fair. So Yeah, I'm going to give him a 6. He took his goal really well. It was a really cold finish from Jadon Sancho. And as I said, we're seeing the progress of Sancho. I'm really happy. He's probably not happy with how the team is at the moment and how far we are, behind City. He probably wish he stayed there. But again, his goal today was quite good, and I'm happy with how he's developing as a Manchester United player. And then Paul Pogba, going to give him a 5. So I didn't think he was that good. When he got on the ball, he lost it a lot, to be fair. He picked out some good passes, but then again, he didn't get on the ball today. And I think the team, we knew going into the game we were not going to be in possession of the ball at all today, to be fair. In the last 15 minutes, City had 92% possession and we had 8. That just shows how the players just threw in the towel and gave up in that second half. If anything can show that, look at the possession stats. That just shows it in itself, to be fair. So yeah, I'm going to give Pogba a 5, but it was quite poor. Bruno Fernandes, again, very poor today. I'm getting really, really pissed off with Bruno Fernandes recently, always complaining with the ref. And I think he's just been a bit under par recently as well. And I like Bruno Fernandes. We can't have any grievances against him because last season he was our best player. And I think, he's struggling this season in a team that I think all the players are struggling in. And we've not really got control of the team at the moment. We've not had control of the season at all. And we've been so inconsistent that the players have now been a bit inconsistent. And Bruno's going to get that because he plays every single game. But one thing in Bruno, he gives us all, to be fair. And I don't think in a game like this, we couldn't create many opportunities. And what does Bruno like to do most of the game? Create opportunities for players. And he couldn't do that today because we couldn't get on the ball enough. So I'm going to give Bruno Fernandes, I'm going to give him a 5 as well. I didn't think he was that good. Maybe give him a 4. I thought he was on par with a lot of these players today. And overall, the stuff that came on Marcus Rashford, thought just gave up. They didn't really try when it came. One thing with Jesse Lingard didn't really try. I don't think 3-1 down. You're not going to bring on subs and they're going to be instant impact subs. They're just going to give up like the rest of the team because that's what they did. So what can you say, guys? What can you say? If you change up the system in the second half, which I think we needed to do because we saw in that first half, City were on top. They created a bundle more chances. I think we needed to try and stop them playing their game, which we didn't do. We were not very tight with them. We were not compact with City, and we didn't really go toe-to-toe with them in the second half, and that was the problem because the first half was quite good. But overall, guys, let me know what you guys think down below. My man of the match is probably Jadon Sancho. But again, top 4 is not out of the question, but it's looking like slimmer and slimmer game by game because these performances at the moment, the players just don't seem to want top 4, and hopefully they turn that around in the next couple of games or so, which are going to be even more important. And we still have Tottenham to come, which I back Manchester United when. We still have Arsenal to come, we still have Chelsea to come, so we still have a lot of the top teams and the teams around us to play. And I think these games now, I didn't give us a chance against City, and that was the only one I really feel that we were never going to get anything out of. So the team now, they have to show up next week. If we lose to Spurs, forget top 4. Forget top 4. That is the game for me that really decides if top 4 will be gone or not. Because if we beat Spurs, then we give ourselves every chance again to go on and beat Arsenal when we ever play them. Go on to beat Chelsea or whoever around us, teams like that, because we can beat them. We proved that. We got a draw out of Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Although we were not the best, we got a draw. But let me know what you guys think down below, guys. A very poor game, a very frustrating watch for Manchester United. Embarrassing, spineless, toothless performance against City for the second time this season. But anyway, guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know who your man of the match was, guys, and what you thought of the game. But anyway, guys, that's it. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.